Hi, I'm Olga.
Hey, I'm Nathan.
And we'd like to talk today about stages of awakening, because so many people contact me behind the scene and they say, hey, I'm awakened. And I'm like, no, you're not. I'm not trying to be a mean person, although I can be one. What's your take on awakening?
I think before I get started, I'd like to say that it might help to think of awakening stages or degrees. So many people say they're awakened, they say they've attained five-dimensional consciousness. Consciousness actually is more like infinite rather than 5D. It's just baby steps. So quite often what I find with 5D consciousness is people begin to become aware of non-duality. So now they suddenly are aware of the fact that actually the world isn't necessarily seen as a struggle between good and evil. They understand the principle of being, which then dissolves and deconstructs any notions of having a polarity or an opposing force. And they're very good at quoting specific texts, verses, scriptures, you name it, from people who are on the same page as them, who have actually had a very beneficial work in being part of this awakening. So their messages are very useful, and this is all part of the awakening process and the shift. So it all helps. However, who can really say they've fully awakened? Because to be fully awakened means that we don't have any constructs. We understand that to be one, or be aligned with source, or our collective consciousness, means that there are no barriers, and those barriers are usually things like a system of spiritual development, be that religious, spiritual, or otherwise, and any other prejudice or bias we have towards any other particular system or group. Once we are fully awakened, then we won't have any need for these tools or barriers. And up to a point, these barriers limit our experience of the collective consciousness or oneness, because they tell us that, hey, I've done it this way and everyone else should do it this way, rather than acknowledging that everyone experiences oneness in their own way, in their own life's journey, and everyone has different needs. Therefore, the collective consciousness speaks to us according to our needs, and what your need is may not be someone else's need. And it's great having people make this move towards ascension, but ultimately, once we strip ourselves of all these concepts and systems and processes, then we will be closer to source or closer to oneness than we've ever been. And that's simply because as human beings, we struggle with abstract concepts. We struggle with the idea of knowing or feeling that we can be one right now. And so instead what we do is we create systems or paradigms that tell us we need to work towards something to attain it. Now, there is a type of work, but it's nothing to do with the human concept of work. It's basically the acknowledgement of the fact that we were never separated. And these belief systems and systems of thought, as helpful as they are, can also be a stumbling block once you get to a stage where you need to move beyond them. So I would say anyone who's at 5D, congratulations, but know that this is just one step in your journey. And if you feel constrained by a particular way or method, then you're within your right to move beyond that and search somewhere else. But remember that your ascension doesn't depend on any system, it depends on you. And your own higher self, that being you have within. All power comes from there. There is no power in an external system. They're merely tools, and once they've outlived their usefulness, you are free and entitled to use another tool, or to get to a point where tools are no longer necessary at all.